hvordan man kommer ind på, hvad for nogle sider og så videre, ikke? Det i sig selv deler jo så også den her bevægelse. Det er dem, der virkelig kan. Og alle også mere eller mindre andre, der følger med på til at falde på plads. Og så må jeg jo sige et andet sted, det der med at gå på gader og stræder og snakke med lægen og gøre noget andet med hinanden og få det til at falde på plads og med en anden og hvad man har sagt, det der tager så meget tid. Hvordan skal man så få tid til sig selv? De computer, som man ikke der har, ikke? Og selvom man har det, så tager det også tid, ikke? Det er jo alle de der også skal tænkes med ind i det. Og det tror jeg ikke nødvendigvis, at det folk gør mindst.
Dear people of Copenhagen, people in Denmark, today we are citizens of the world. Today we are not only demonstrating for a more fair Denmark, today we are demonstrating for a world where there is no place for greed, no place for corruption. We are demonstrating for a world where everybody have access to clean water and food for their children. Today we tell the press, you shall not fear us. Today we ask the press, help us make this world a more fair world for all. Today we say to the unions of Denmark and the world, do not fear us. Help us to make this world a better place for all.
Join us!
Today we tell the police, do not fear us, but help us make this world a better place for all. Today we tell the banks, you shall fear us. Wake up, people of the world. The banks are not your advisor. The bank is not your friend. The bank is here to make money, and it is not for you, it is for themselves. And the stock markets of the world, they are the largest pyramid scheme in the world, where only the 1% will get richer, no matter what way the stock market will go. How many people here have lost a lot of money off their pension on stock? Please wake up, all people of the world. I am a part of the 99%. We are all a part of the 99%.
We are the 99%. We are the 99%. We are the 99%. We are the 99%. We are the 99%.
You are the 99%. You are the 99%. You are the 99%. Occupy Denmark, occupy the world. Velkommen. Vi er her for at blive.
What do you think is the most important thing going on right now? Or what do you like the best or don't like the best or whatever?
I think the best thing about this movement is global. From its start, it's been inspiration from Cairo, from Greece, from Spain, from Wall Street, and all these inspirations are like floating together and inspire millions and millions of people all over the world. And I think there's two main reasons why people are here. Of course, people have all the different reasons to be here, but I think there are two main reasons. The revolutions in the Middle East and the resistance against the cut downs all over the world is one thing, but also the economic crisis. I think people are scared. People are scared of losing their jobs. People are scared of getting poor. Their children will have a harder life. Many think that their children will have a harder life than themselves. And all these things are these two combined. These two things, revolutions and being afraid for the future. These two things are coming together in this movement.
Are you yourself afraid?
Yeah, right now I'm unemployed, and the possibility to get a job is getting harder and harder, also in Denmark.
Hey, maybe you noticed on the media that some people are already talking about civil war in Greece.
Yeah.
Getting very close to it. Do you think that could happen in a place? Denmark is very economically well situated for the time being. Do you think it could ever look like Greece?
Yeah, I think so. But I will not call it civil war. I will call it class war, class struggle. The class struggle in Greece have been in a very high momentum for a very long time. But the cut downs are getting harder and harder. So of course the resistance is also getting harder. But I think we need to walk a lot of steps to get to a position as Greece are now. We are not there yet. Not yet.
Hey, have you ever heard of this guy called Max Keiser, who is broadcasting on Russia Today and on Press TV?
I heard about Russia Today.
Russia, right? He's 3 half-hour programs on a week from Russia Today, and 1 half-hour from Press TV every single week.
Okay.
Personally, I think he's fabulous. He's absolutely fantastic. And the latest thing that he's doing a real analysis of the banks and the scandalous fraud banks that are just ripping countries off. I mean, the banks in Greece are occupying and ripping all of the political sovereignty of Greece is disappearing because they're going and they're just ripping off all real value in the country. And what is his strategy? As maybe you've heard of his strategy. As latest is to the governments of the world of the various countries should take over the banks, and make sure that the people who are causing this are becoming accountable for what they are doing, and then to restructure the banks completely. And the most important thing here, according to what if I've understood it right, he's very difficult to understand sometimes for me, and that is to make sure that the citizens are not paying the bills that the banksters have caused. Actually, the Saturday last week, there were some people here that said they went to the Danish Federal Bank, or the National Bank.
Yeah, I was part of them.
Did you go there?
Yeah, in the demonstration.
What happened? Were there 5 people going there, or 50, or what?
Around 200, I think.
200. Yeah. Wow, that's a lot.
But the bank was closed. But the anger is here. The anger is here. But I think we have to be quite clear that this is not only the bankers. The banks are, of course, these rich scumbags are getting billions and billions of euros and dollars bailed out, taken from you and me and every normal person, taken from our welfare systems. But it's not only the bankers. The capitalist system is in crisis, in a deep crisis, the deepest crisis since the 30s, maybe even deeper. So it's not enough to nationalize the banks, I think, because that's of course I would say
you don't want to nationalize the debt so that the citizens have to pay for the debt. You have to nationalize them and make sure that the citizens don't pay for that.
Of course, I would like that demand. We should rise that demand. But I think this system in general, because this system is more than banks. It's these. For example, this building is Danish industry. The building for Danish industry. very, very powerful companies ripping the wealth of the world in their pockets, causing wars in the Middle East, all these things, and this is more than the banks. It's a system. The system is sick, and we have to get rid of it.
Okay, the political system must be changed. But now you also mentioned wars. Wars. I haven't seen a lot of attention played to wars as a part of this Saturday and then today. I don't see so many signs on that. Get out of the wars. Get completely. But is this something that's going to happen? Do you think?
I hope, because that's actually quite important. Because if we are going to unite our struggle with the people in the Middle East, the people in Afghanistan, the people in Africa, we have to say our enemy is at home. Our enemy is not in the Middle East. Our enemy is at home. It's the people in the power who are sending tanks and bombs in the head of normal people in the Middle East. They are our comrades.
Hey, you're Danish,
yeah,
right? And isn't there the General Secretary of NATO? Isn't he a Dane? Sometimes he should be criticized. Maybe he's even a war criminal.
He is. He has blood on his hands.
He must have.
This war in Iraq. He was part of the Danish. He was organizing the Danish war in Iraq, and they have blood on their hands. They've caused millions of people fled to neighbor countries. But hundreds of thousands of people are dead in this war, and the crisis in Iraq, in Afghanistan, is continuing. They're saying now the war in Iraq is over. It's bullshit. They have big troop bases with troops in Iraq. The war is continuing. It's continuing, and also in Libya. What did they said? Oh, Gaddafi is a war criminal. Yeah, maybe. But who sold him the weapons? That was the people in London, in Washington, in Paris. All these people, they sold the weapons to Gaddafi. And it's the same story with Saddam Hussein, Taliban, and so on.
Hey, the UN resolution that the whole Danish Parliament also voted for, permitting NATO to go into Libya and in a so-called no-fly zone. This did, as I understood, that it did not include regime change, but it is now a complete obvious to everybody on the planet that was the purpose of the whole bloody thing anyway, so that was an illegal war too.
Yeah.
And then Gaddafi has been murdered. I've heard that the guy was shot and alive. He was dragged through the streets naked, his body, and then this, I heard this from this guy George Galloway on Press TV, and he was the what do you call it? The NT, the National Transitional Council. The rebels, the revolutionaries, they promised that he would have a fair trial in the country, or have a trial at all. And internationally, he was also promised to get a trial. There was even a court order arrest from the International Criminal Court. None of this has happened. The man has been bloodily slaughtered, executed. I don't even know if you can call it execution, because that's kind of a legal term. He was murdered brutally by a mob.
After French plane bombed the convoy he was in, and I think the rulers in the West, they clapped their hands. They said, "Oh, fantastic!"
Did you hear Hillary Clinton? Saw on television everything? If I remember correctly, she said something like, "We came, we saw, Gaddafi died."
The reason why they clapped their hands, because if he went to trial, he would tell the world that who sold him the weapons, who was all his friends, noble friends all over the world. It's our rulers. Our rulers, they kept Gaddafi in power, they kept Mubarak in power, they keep Israel in power, and they don't want these things out. So they are very happy he's dead now, because then he's not there to tell the truth.
Yeah, and then they opt the thing. They try to take over the thing, like with Mubarak, right? They kept him in power as long as possible.
Yeah.
When it was impossible to keep him in power anymore, then they act like they're supporting a revolutionary.
It's their intervention.
Hypocrisy and double standards.
I think it's very important for us to understand that the war in Libya is, of course, it's about oil. It's always about oil in the Middle East, but more important, it's their intervention in the Arab Spring. They wanted, like, try to think. Libya is between Tunisia here, Egypt there, and they wanted like a stepping stone in between these revolutions because they are very afraid of these revolutions. If these revolutions are spreading all over, they stop the revolution. They destroy the revolution with their bombs and planes and tanks and all this. You don't make a revolution by bombing cities from the sky. You make revolution from the people in the cities, taking over the cities.
You started by saying that the best thing here was maybe the international character of this movement. So how do we get this thing to become even more international?
I think we have to raise one very important question. We have the slogan, "We are the 99," and that's very good.
Well, that's a pretty good starting point.
That's very good starting point. But we are not the 99% here on this square, and it's not to blame all this for not being enough. No, the question we have to put in the center of this movement is how do we reach out so we can be the 99 to make big things like we saw in Tahrir Square. In Tahrir Square, it was not 10 or 15 or 30 people occupying. It was thousands and thousands and thousands, millions of people occupying, making strikes, occupation of factories. We have to do the same here, but it's not like going over one night. It's a process that we are starting.
That's what everybody's doing, making signs and whatever they're doing here. There are all kinds of activities going on.
But we have to move this movement from it is not bad it is here, it's very good it's here, but we have to move it to the workplaces, we have to move it to the schools, to universities, and back to the squares. We have to make it more banning.
Hey, in 1968, I recall, I'm an old guy, yes. I recall that in France, the workers and the intellectuals got together and they occupied factories, workplaces in all France.
Yeah. We need the same here.
That was a revolution.
We need our 68, but this time we want to win.
Right.
Last time.
We're gonna win. Yes, 99%. Okay, thanks a million.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye. Nothing like winning. There are people here of all ages.
Oh yes, yeah. This is
we belong to the little older generation, those very wise and old generation.
White-haired ones, yes.
Okay.
It is a multi-generational revolution. This, of course, it is. It is everybody. Yeah.
And what do you think? Half of the people are old like me, and half are young like you, or what's the
well, everybody has an age. If they like to, if they count the years, then they have an age.
And some people don't count.
Yeah, some people don't count their age. I have personally. They tell me that I have been around the sun 24 times.
Really? And you didn't.
I don't know what that means.
Didn't get burned up.
I didn't. Not yet.
Good.
Not yet.
Good. Hey, you're here with the occupation Copenhagen, occupation Wall Street Copenhagen.
You can call it that, but
what do you call it?
Well, I call it a movement. I call it a. Yeah, I'd like to call it a movement. It's a movement of people who are beginning to wake up. I know it's a cliche to say that they are waking up, or people are waking up, but they are. And what are they waking up to? They're waking up to a shitty system.
Does that mean that they've been asleep all this time, or what?
More or less. We could also say that we have deluded ourselves with a lot of ideas. And because we are all egos, and our egos like themselves, and they are filled with ideas, and that's where we have been lost for a while in the ideas. But now we are waking up to a reality. We are waking up to that ideas are just ideas.
Okay,
they are good enough to talk about.
Now there are many ideas, and we all believe, all us good people that are trying to be good people, we believe in equality. But nevertheless, I think at least that everything is a little bit, nothing is perfectly exactly equal. Things are a little more, we're all different and so forth and so forth. And there are many, many ideas. So which, in your opinion, is the most important idea? Even though all of the ideas that are coming up here are all important, everything deserves a place in the public forum. So, can you name one or a couple of very
Yes, I can name one which I think maybe encapsulates, might just be the only solution to our problems worldwide.
Okay, I'm waiting. I'm excited.
It is the dissolution, or the dissolution of the ego.
Of the ego.
Yes.
Wow.
We all have one, and it's not, we shouldn't disillusion it just like that. That's impossible, by the way. But we have to work on that. We have to work on being egoless. Because birds and the fish who well, let's take the fish. They swim in what's they called, a steamer.
There's a stream, or
yeah, well, they swim together.
A stream of fish.
Yeah, they swim together and in a dynamic equilibrium. And what happens is that you have an enemy fish that comes into the stream, and they react completely dynamically. They are fluid. The only way the fish is capable of doing this is because it acts completely egoless. It acts.
They are one with the group.
They are one with the group and their environment. The group is one with the environment, and the individuals are one with the group. And there is not there are no thoughts that interrupt their sight of what's going on, what's in front of them. We get interrupted a lot by ourselves.
A lot. There are people that think that having a strong ego is not necessarily bad. For instance,
it's not necessarily bad, but it shouldn't control your actions. The ego cannot see anything.
Okay.
The ego is a mental structure.
Okay. What do you call it if a person is in love with oneself? As a human being.
Well,
I'm very, very happy that I'm alive, and I love to be alive, and I love me here in this world, and I'm alive. What's that? Is that egoistical?
No, it's not. It's love.
That's love.
But no, there's a difference between loving the words that I tell myself I am, and then loving what I am. There's a big difference.
Telling oneself and rising up, being what? Okay. I'm trying to follow you.
In other words, there's a difference between loving the thoughts that I think of myself. I think I am a very wise philosopher. For example, I could think that if I love the thought of that, then I'm not loving myself, because I am not the words. I am something. I'm a mystery. Everything is a mystery. We all are mystery. We are not the words we say. That's not it. The word is not the thing.
Isn't there an old Sanskrit word called Maya?
Oh yes.
What does that mean?
Illusion.
Is that part of this?
Yes, all of this is an illusion. But wait, it is a real illusion. I can still be hit by a car and hurt by that. So it's a real illusion.
So illusions can kill you.
Oh yes. That may be a good point. Yeah.
Hey,
but this is only me. This is only me talking, and I cannot talk for everybody.
Okay,
it's starting now.
Noise now. We'll get back to you later.
Yeah, please do so.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, der bliver så smidt med
Hallo? Hej Anton.
Det skal måske lige først sætte på, hvad der er fra. Jeg har jeg sover de første minutter, men på grund af, at jeg har en dårlig hofte, og jeg har en dårlig arm, så det er mere det der med, at jeg kan ikke ligge på noget, der er så hårdt. Så okay, jeg skal til at sove. Jeg kommer tit op, ikke? Jamen, lige ved så er der en, der siger, vi hader kapitalen, eller ikke? Det skal virkelig gøre ondt. Vi kan ikke bare sige, at vi elsker, vi skal vente rundt, ikke? Altså, i stedet for, at vi vil ikke have idéer, vi vil ikke have idéer, vi vil ikke have det. Vi vil gerne have det. Vi vil gerne have det. Det er jo det, man... Nej, også det der, altså, jeg ser ikke, som man kan gøre det der, det ligger ligesom i, vi skal arbejde her, og det er jo så ender man jo med, så ender man med at skrue på gaden, og ikke få mad på en eller anden måde. Og det er jo frygteligt. Folk der skulle have den her, i hvert fald nu til at se, at vi rent faktisk mener det her, at ja.
Folk er bange for at stikke ud.
Ja, det tror jeg også.
For familier og sådan ting og sager. Det ved jeg fra min egen familie. Jeg har prøvet at fortælle dem alt det her. Jeg ved ikke, hvor lang tid